So I would start with the history of Panacea, when we started and how we started. So almost after working for almost 2 decades in the industry, I started this company in 2012. Right. So the objective was very clear, to provide quality security services to a client, right? To all the clients which are not well versed with the security practices, right? And then how to take this forward in industry, and create a workforce which would be able to provide long term security services to the industry. So this is how we started in 2012. The journey was not very easy. The reason was, as demand and supply. Demand actually, was very high. Supply was very less. So it was very hard to get, right people from the industry, and to provide, services, right services and quality services to the industry. So it was in 2012. We started providing. So we, though we started as a cybersecurity company, cybersecurity, and a company which was supposed to provide services in cybersecurity space and managed security services space. But then the industry was not very matured, right? And the companies which were already there, they were not very big companies. So it was so difficult to convince our client that what is the right way to take your cyber, your IT practices, your IT department, from a level where they were vulnerable to a lot of attacks, lots of compromises, to a level where they are safe and secure. So it was a difficult journey. But then slowly and steadily, we started getting right people. We started training right people, and from one company to a level where right now we have almost 400 plus clients. We started with India, and now we have operations in almost 49 countries. So this is how we started, right? My background is, I have been in this industry since last 2 decades today. So I started as a software developer, then got into this network management. And finally, before joining this company, I was part of a semantic antivirus company. So I was leading a team of researchers at Pune on the branch. So I had almost a team of 4 or 5 team members, and we were doing research on viruses. Now regarding services and products, so we do provide a lot of a sort of holistic coverage to our client. So this consists of almost all the services, such as your IT infrastructure assessment. We call that, in a very raw language, we call that vulnerability assessment and pen testing, right? Apart from that, we provide all other sort of security services, such as application pen test, code review, and then PCI. The primary core business is basically to protect payment industry from hacks, from cyber attacks. So our primary job is to support all the clients, all the entities which are working in cybersecurity space, right? Such as your bank, your payment gateways, your e-commerce merchants. So we provide security assessment and auditing services to all these clients which are working in payment space. So objective is to make them hack proof, to make them stable, and then not vulnerable against cybercrime. So which is very much prevalent, and which is and these things are very much common right now. So as we are moving towards cashless society. So definitely anything we are doing on cyberspace should have to be very much secure. So this is what we are doing right now. Services, if you talk about other services, definitely we are cert impaneled company, cert impaneled auditors. So our our job is to provide VAPT services, auditing cybersecurity auditing services to government sector, public sector, and then private companies which are working in which are providing services to government sector. So this is what we do. So Rajneesh, our job is to assess technology, assess the process and the people. So we are vendor agnostic company. We do not provide a name of specific company or specific product. So what we do basically, let's say we have a client. So we go to the client, we assess their technology, how the technology is configured, is actually is used in their network. So job is to assess the technology. Technology can be can be an operating system, can be a network device, a security device, or maybe a sort of you can say even a software which is installed and working there to provide services to the client. So we generally do a sort of assessment of the technology, whether that is configured properly or not. Then the process, whether a process is robust enough to handle any sort of breach or maybe any sort of social engineering. So we have seen so many these days, so many attacks, so many I would say situations where people do hackers do they do a sort of social engineering. They take they steal passwords, or they take passwords actually from the people who are managing these type of IT infrastructure. So we not only assess IT infrastructure, we assess process and also people working there who are managing these technologies. So never we recommend a specific technology or maybe a specific product or maybe a specific company to our clients. So we are very vendor neutral company. I'll give you one example. There are so many payment gateways which are eventually working in the same chain where RBI is operating. So RBI is responsible for the security of for the security of payment infrastructure, financial data, right? As you know, RBI is our central bank. So any entity which is working in the financial sector is eventually answerable to RBI, right? So all these payment gateways which are not governed by government entities, which which do not come under government direct government control. So these companies are responsible to protect data which they are handling, customer data which they are handling. So here RBI is authorized to to answer these entities like payment gateways, and then banks, then maybe some other companies which are so many companies which are coming and they directly don't handle customer data, but then that data can be used to compromise any customers credit card or maybe payment component, right? So generally we are being approached by these type of companies, payment gateways, payment aggregators, e-commerce merchants, and then companies which are providing services to payment gateways and banks, such as a company into settlement, a company into creation of credit card and debit cards, a company in the process of printing your checkbook basically, right? So these type of companies, I've given you a very simple example. If you see vendors, vendors of a bank. So there are so many vendors providing different services to the bank. So they directly or indirectly come under regulation given by RBI. So our major client list our list consists of these type of clients. You're right. Actually, life is tough. Since last almost 18 months now. Not only our clients, but we are also struggling to cope up with this type of situation. We were not aware that initially when pandemic started last year, we thought our even our team members, they thought life is now good. Actually, we will go back to our home and we'll enjoy working from there, right? We'll sit with our family, our children, and we'll enjoy working from home. But now as the time has changed, we have seen so many challenges. So I'll start with challenges which our clients are seeing, and challenges later on which we are seeing. So for example, our BPO clients, yes, India is a service sector industry. So a lot of our companies and a lot of our youth is employed at BPO sector. right? Providing, if not all, service related, customer related services, but also technical services. So when they started working from home, you are right, it was so difficult to manage who is getting into, into corporate network, into that company's organization network, who is actually doing what. So that was something very difficult. And then when these guys, when these team members, they were working from the company premises, they were being controlled under company corporate policy, corporate, IT policy. But now, as they all are working from home, what they are running in their network on their laptop, it cannot be monitored actually every time, right? So as a part of corporate network, definitely there are so many devices, so many technologies which can be configured and can be, deployed to verify and to stop people, from browsing a lot of sites which may be vulnerable to a lot of attacks. So it was very difficult for our clients which are into BPO space, which are into service space, to manage these type of things. But then definitely, slowly and gradually, they started deploying a lot of technologies like DLP, right? And then other technologies to manage, like VPN, to manage these type of challenges. So now we have seen companies, they have moved to VPN. In fact, we also moved to VPN. So we were not actually earlier, working using VPN at our office. So later on, when these type of things started, so we asked our company, employees, to virtually come to the office through VPN, log into the VPN, and then from there to manage all the clients. So the very same thing, was started by our clients. They started using VPN. They started using, data leak prevention technologies, DLP technologies, and then other things also. Yes, the challenge was there, and we are still facing this challenge. This is technology challenge. But a very critical thing, a very critical challenge which we have seen now is sort of, human psychology, human stress level. So that is something which is very difficult now. So people working from home, they are facing so many challenges, like when, as an auditor, you try assessing, your client's infrastructure, IT infrastructure. It is so much difficult to to verify those configurations which are which everybody cannot show, right, to a person sitting in the home, right, away from the company. So it's so difficult to share anything which is critical, anything which is very sensitive to a person sitting at home, and can take pictures, can use that later on, basically, to do sort of social engineering, or maybe sort of, back end malicious activity. So yes, we while working remotely, our team members have to take, lot of have to sign a lot of NDAs. And then, apart from NDA, it's so much difficult to project something on your screen which which is running basically on their servers. So that challenge basically we are facing. But now, to handle these type of things, we have changed our strategy. So we have created sort of, scripts, automated scripts. So these scripts basically can do, can be deployed on our client network. They can fetch, a lot of configurations, and then these scripts are also configured to sanitize, or to remove all the sensitive information, and just to only take the information which are required as a part of evidence retention during these audit activities. So we are doing reduction of reduction of this sensitive information, and then taking this thing. So now we have moved from a full time, a full manual process, to sort of, a hybrid process, where a person is doing audit, and then script basically are already, automated script is taking sort of configuration from the client network. So this is how we have evolved. So definitely, when we are into compliance, we are into auditing space, we understand, nobody understand, compliances and then regulations, than us. So yes, it was difficult. All the contract, all the agreements which were signed before pandemic, right? Client was in this impression that we would be present there at the premises and doing audit, right? And not taking anything from the premises. But now, everything changed so suddenly. So in that case, yes, we went with the we went to the client, and we told them that this is so difficult, and then as a part of audit evidence, we need to collect all the evidences, and evidences may contain sort of sensitive information. So couple of cases, client were very much supportive. They understood things very well. So we re-signed NDAs and agreement with them. A couple of cases, companies which were not very big, which are not very big, and they're middle size companies. It was so difficult for them to create NDA again, and to get them signed again, and then so they already have resource crunch. So it is so difficult for them to change everything overnight, or maybe over the period of time. So there we created a sort of predefined NDA. We shared with the client. We said, you don't have to do anything. Just take review this document. We have created only for clients like you, where you are already resource crunch, right? Short of resources. So you can see this NDA. This NDA will take care of everything, right? So we cannot change the practice, the way our companies, or council which are managing us, though they have given leverage to all the auditors that you can conduct your audit sitting at home. But then definitely these type of things are required to be preserved, are required to be retained as a part of audit evidence practice. So in that case, we were also we were so it was so difficult for us also to give sort of evasion to our client. So in that case, we created sort of policy and procedures, NDA, for our client, and we shared with these type of clients. So big companies such as SCL, Tech Mahindra, and then Genpact, they already have these type of things in place. They have big legal team, HR team, and then operations team. So they were ready with this type of things, because they are managing so many vendors, they're managing so many clients. So they were ready with it, with these type of things, legal things. But then small clients, and then medium level clients, we prepared these type of things, these type of document for them. Rajneesh, you're very much right. Doing audit on premise and then doing something from home, right? Yes, challenges are different, right? When you are on premise, definitely you have liberty to ask client to show something, and then without signing any NDA, or without having additional skills, you can do you can do all those activities when you are on premise. But sitting at home, yes, there were challenges, like for example, let's say a client is adamant, is very adamant. He's not ready to, he's not willing to share something on screen. So you cannot ask your manager to come again and again, and convince the client, right? So in that cases, we took a couple of classes, training sort of sessions with our team members, to tell them what how can they convince the client, right, to go through, to show something which is sensitive. And then what we have created as a part of practice, right, in our own organization, to avoid any such sensitive information getting stored in our network. So we took a couple of training sessions, and then also, yes, as a part of their auditing business, they were asked to implement some technological some technology, such as VPN technology, or maybe some sort of applications on their network, on their laptop. So that it was a challenge, but then our IT team made this ensure that these type of things are implemented on the network, or maybe on the laptop of our auditors in a proper way. So it took some time. Pandemic started in March 2020, and by maybe July or maybe August 2020, we were ready with this type of to face these type of challenges. So yes, we took a lot of training sessions, a lot of awareness sessions, and then internal discussions where we made our team members aware of all the facts, which which were required to conduct audit remotely. So Rajneesh, so I started with payment gateways and banks, but then we provide services to all sort of merchants, such as if I have to take the name, then I would start with give me a couple of seconds. Give me a couple of seconds. Let me uh, right. So it's not like we are providing only support to BPO clients, or maybe payment gateway client, or maybe payment aggregators, or maybe e-commerce merchants. uh, our client can be a taxi service like Grab Singapore, right? So Grab Singapore is basically our client. So and any entity which is operating on cyberspace can be a client. It can be it can be just dial a big company providing customers, providing support to a lot of customers, lot of customers, or maybe users sitting across India. It can be a company like I would say uh, just dial, then Tech Mahindra, then PVR is also a client. Then you know companies like startup companies like Dream 11 or Nika, or maybe Udan, right? Or it can be a travel company such as Yatra.com, right? Redbus.in. Then companies such as Yum brand, which has which has this thing, Pizza Hut, and then Taco Bell with them. And then it can be a company which is like which is working uh, in your this thing loyalty management program, loyalty
Okay.
points management program, such as loyalty rewards. So these companies are basically a client. So any company which is working in handling customer data, right? It can be payment data. It can be a personal data, can be a client. So we have almost 400 plus clients, and ranging from all sectors, all verticals. Very interesting question, Rajneesh. I would say, when we started in 2012, we had this liberty to start with a small company, and start providing all the services, right? Securities, cyber security, or maybe IT security is a big sector. It has a big market, and then a lot of services which a company can provide in this space. So I saw that there are so many companies which are working in VAPT space, vulnerability assessment and pen test services, and then risk management. So we adopted go to market strategy where we wanted to be in the niche service sector. So we started with payment. We started in the payment security section, right? Because I saw that not so many companies were there in payment security vertical. There were around three to four companies. So we started with in that vertical as a payment security specialist, and then we started growing in other sectors also, like security of personal data, right? So we started with PCI DSS standard. Sorry, we started with payment security vertical, and then we got into other things, such as RBI audit, certain audit, basically insurance sector audit, security training, right? So started with a very niche sector, which is very it was supposed to be a very small sector that time when we started our services, our company. But then over the period, this sector is now almost 3.2 billion market. This has a 3.2 billion market in India itself. So very big sector. So now, right now, we are I would say very proudly that we are not only leading payment security vertical, but we are also leading cyber security vertical, IT security vertical. We are leading third paneled services. So these things we are providing right now. So it's all sort of holistic services we are providing to our client.
Rajneesh, definitely we right now we are leading in assessment and auditing services. So I would rather not leave my focus from here. We understand very well that there are so many things like right now, as we have 400 plus clients, so we can leverage these clients to start new initiative. So what are these initiatives? Definitely, we can look at we can look at new things which service line which are coming up right now, like AI auditing. So which is going to be a big sector in future. So AI auditing, then cybersecurity insurance, right? IoT assessment, because government is focusing on smart cities in future. So post pandemic, definitely a big chunk of government planning, and then capital would go in these type of projects. So which are national mission, cyber smart city project. So smart city definitely would take leverage of IoT devices. So our objective is to get into IoT device assessment and certification. Then AI auditing, definitely everything in future. Most of the things would work on would take a leverage of AI, artificial intelligence. So these artificial intelligence platform should have to be neutral, should have to be a very transparent, right? So this type of platform should have to be audited for these type of for neutrality, for transparency. So we are planning to get into these new service lines. And then a sector which is coming up very fast, and which is going to be a very crucial and important part of all these companies which are working into cyberspaces, cyber security insurance, right? So we are planning to handshake with company which are into insurance, and to start this sector in India. So no no nobody better than us knows a risk assessment. Nobody can do better risk assessment than a company which is working into this space. So a company which is into cyber, which is into risk assessment, if we can come together, so this is what we are planning. So definitely we are not subject matter expert when it comes to cyber insurance or insurance. But then for any sort of insurance sector, in insurance, uh, until and unless you assess risk properly, you cannot give the coverage, insurance coverage to the company, right? Or it may lead to a disaster if right assessment is not done, right magnitude of risk is not actually is not assessed. So we are subject matter expert when it comes to assessing IT risk, right? Or maybe cyber risk. So we would handshake with a company, or we would get into a sort of alliance with a company which is into insurance sector, and create an entity to start providing cyber risk insurance to companies which are working in cyber space. Like example, I would say uh, recently, we saw a lot of companies where cyber breach happened. A lot of things are on stake of these companies, such as their reputation, their a loss. Then so much legal, legal, I would say, uh, 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 you know uh, I'm not getting the right word actually. That that legal coverage, legal demand from the customers, right? So there are so many things which are at stake when a company works in space and get compromised. So we are going to provide these type of cyber risk coverage to these companies.